Shabbat Shalom. For this is the day that Yah has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Before we pray, we always bless our King by saying, Baruch et Yahweh. Baruch et Yahweh HaMevorach. Baruch atah Yahweh HaMevorach le'elam vayed. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech ha'alam. Asher bikar benu makol hamayim v'natan lanu ha'torah. Baruch atah Yahweh notan ha'torah. That is to say, blessed be Yahweh. Blessed be Yahweh, the blessed one. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the blessed one for all eternity. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who selected us from all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of the Torah, to our King, to our healer, our provider, our sustainer, to our King and our El, to the Elohim of Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael. Do we come to you today, Master, thanking you for all things. We come to you with a bowed head and humble hearts. We thank you, Master, and ask you that you will forgive us of our sins, cleanse us of unrighteousness, that our prayers be not hindered this morning. Master, that you will look upon your people, Yisrael, that are gathered in your name today. In your awesome, fearsome, and terrible name, Master, do we gather on the day that you have made. You say that you made the world in 6 days. On the seventh day you rested, and we shall also rest. And if we do rest, Master, and we recognize this day that you rested, that we shall be in a covenant with you. So we are your people, Master, and we come out today in fear and in love, Master, and in obedience to your word. And we thank you, O King, although we may be few in number here, Master. Like we said, 8 thoroughly immersed in your spirit is far greater assets than 80 with lukewarm enthusiasm. So, Master, we ask that you will look upon us today, those that are gathered with us online also, Master, that can't be here for whatever reason, ailing in their bodies, or the distance, Master, may prevent them from coming, that we are all gathered here today in fear of you, O King, thanking you for life, health, and strength, thanking you for food, clothing, and shelter, thanking you for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, thanking you for bringing us out of idolatry, O King. So we meet this day, and as a witness, Master, we come out on your set-apart day. We thank you, Master, and ask you to continue to provide us your mercies that you renew daily and your grace, Master, and that you know each and one of us individually, know us collectively, Master. You know all of our needs and our desires. O King, that we are being set apart today by coming out in obedience to you. Master, we thank you that you have looked out for our children all week long as they have traversed throughout the highways and byways, O King, that you brought them home to us safely. So, Master, like I said, we do meet today out of fear of you, because you said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, but nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in your law, and in the Torah of Yahweh do he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper, and his leaf, and it shall not wither. So we thank you, O King, that you have given us the dedication, Master. We ask that you will show yourself strong through Yisrael. Show yourself strong through First Tabernacle. Let your word go forth today, O King, that someone else may want to come crying out that you are turning your cove back to you. Turn your cove back to you, Master, that we may be Israel, and that you would hark upon when we talk about you, Master, and that we talk about your awesome and your great name, that they shall be like a son who serves his father, that a book was written, and you heard, Master, and their names were written in the book. Leave us not here in exile, O King, but that you would take us back to your land. For we yearn, Master, to be with you and to commune with you in the land in Jerusalem, O King. Keep letting your knowledge go forward, Master, and that you will keep us until we meet here again. This is our prayer.
We're going to read today from the Helium Psalms, chapter number 20. You may join with me in reading. May Yahweh answer you in times of distress. May the name of the Elohim of Yaakov protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. May he be reminded by all your grain offerings and accept the fat of your burnt offerings. May he grant you your heart's desire and bring all your plans to success. Then we will shout for joy at your victory and fly our flags in the name of our El. May Yahweh fulfill all your requests. Now I know that Yahweh gives victory to his anointed one. Now I know that Yahweh gives victory to his anointed one. He will answer him from his set apart heaven with mighty victories by his right hand. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we praise the name of Yahweh our El. They will crumble and fall, but we will arise and stand erect. Give glory to Yahweh. Let the King answer us in the day we call. 21. Yahweh, the King, finds joy in your strength. What great joy he displays in your victory. You give him his heart's desire. You don't refuse the prayer from his lips. For you come to meet him with the best blessings. You place a crown of fine gold on his head. He asks for life and you give it to him. Years and years, forever and ever. Your victory brings him great glory. You confer on him splendor and honor. For you bestow on him everlasting blessings. You make him glad with the joy of your presence. For the king puts his trust in Yahweh. In the grace of Elyon, he will not be moved. Your hand will find all your enemies. Your right hand will overtake those who hate you at your appearing. You will make them like a fiery furnace. Yahweh will swallow them up in his anger. Fire will consume them. You will destroy from the earth their descendants, rid humankind of their posterity. For they intended evil against you, but despite their scheme, they won't succeed. For you will make them turn their back by aiming your bow at their face. Arise, Yahweh, in your strength, and we will sing praise. We will sing and praise your power. Amen. Give all praise to the mighty one. Yahweh, you may be seated. I'm always happy and delighted to see each one of you here as we gather in this particular house each Shabbat to worship. Though we be few in number, we're great and mighty in the eyes of the Most High. People have been curious, which is the reason I'm going to mention this. I don't know why they've been curious, but some people are curious as to why I turned my back to the audience during the invocation of prayer. It's not that I turned my back to the audience, it's that I faced the east. And when you stand in receiving prayer and worship to the Most High, you're facing the east. Does the east have significant importance to us? Yes, it does. Out of the east comes the rising of the sun that sets in the west. The presence of the Most High resides in the east. And so when we pray, we face that part of the origin. Before I get into today's teaching, I woke up this morning. I have a lot of thoughts on my mind. A lot. A lot. Sometimes we need to sequester them and say, well, is this something I need to share and talk about? And I'm pressed this morning, today, to do this. Yesterday was a day in which the world honors the aspect of Cupid. However, my reflection is not towards Cupid, but my reflection of thought is toward the essence and the power of love. There is no greater aspect, there is no greater essence in the universe that can overpower love. The Most High sees his wife, Israel. Wow, that hit me hard. And when he sees his wife, Israel, he has imparted to her his undying, infallible, unreplaced aspect of love. Love is so powerful that emanates from our husband that it covers a multitude No. I want you to hear this. His love for you, Israel, is so powerful that it covers a multitude of our idiosyncrasies, our imperfectedness. Our error, our idolatry, and he demonstrates that love to us even when we don't love him. He grants to us the essence and the aura and the aroma of his existence. to allow us to understand that every undertaking that we undertake demonstrates his love for us. There is nothing that you and I can do, say, or act without the presence of the demonstration of his love. Our ability to move from place to place, to our thoughts that resonate in our mind. That I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning that starts a brand new day, I give him praise, adoration, and thanks that you've given me the ability to demonstrate your love to me by allowing me to exhale and inhale and to move from my bed to one place and another and start my day. The essence of his power that ignites us and flows through every vein and activates every muscle, causes our mind to be illuminated. We're in the consciousness of a time of love. I say to him, I have found him whom my soul loves. And I love him. I love the mighty one without reservation, without question. I love him not just because he first loved me. No. I love him because he loves me in spite of myself. And the very thought of that is overwhelming. When I am in the presence of those who talk of him as if they know him, they have not a clue. They don't have a clue within the Greek mind and within a Western mindset. They don't have a clue about who I'm even talking about. They say they love him, but they can't even mention his name. When you love somebody, you talk about them. When you love somebody, you mention their name. When you love somebody, you talk about the essence of who they are and how they make you feel inside and how you miss them in their absence. And there's times when I absolutely miss him, and yet he's still present. And I wonder within my being, how is it that I can even function without the one whom I love? I don't need Cupid to define for me love. I know who I am. I know who I am to him. Husbands, boyfriends, you don't need a man-given day to reflect to the one that the Most High has given you as special, to join with the nation to show your affirmation of love. You don't need that. The man who has found a wife has found something that is precious. And you have to realize you may only get one shot at finding that person. One shot. I listened to the banter of some of you. And I don't know if you realize how special your relationships are. The song goes in short lyrics for me. He don't bring me flowers anymore. As if to say that that's the mark that establishes the fact that he's thinking about me. Until you have experienced the pain, the agony, of missing that special one, you probably really won't realize the feeling of what true love really is. I applaud you for your relationships. Young men, young women who are forging those. If the Most High has placed you together, honor the fact that that's special. And we have to learn how through the Most High, because He is our perfect example. I've already told you all over and over again, there's no way you men could ever function like the Most High and His wife. Which defines the depth of love. Oh, come on, y'all. Which defines the depth of love that He has for us. Your wife, your girlfriend, can't go lift up her skirt on every high hill and expose her private parts. She can't go sleep around with other men and you with other women and expect for everything to just be okay. And you look at each other after it's all said and done and look at you and say, I love you anyway. Can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. I'm talking about love to the depth of a place that you and I can't even begin to imagine. And who am I talking about? The one who loves me in spite of. The one who said, oh, I once was angry with you. I once was. I was, and I had cause. I had reason to be angry with you, but I'm going to make a commitment to you. In spite of what you've done to me, in spite of how you've treated me. Oh, and I gave you everything. Huh. I saw you, Ezekiel chapter 16, I think it is. I saw you in the desert. You were naked. Your umbilical cord hadn't even been cut. I saw you. There wasn't anybody to even wash you and cleanse you. I saw you. And I took you, Israel. I cut your cord. I bathed you, washed you, and I nurtured you. I watched you grow up into puberty, and you became well formed and beautiful. I waited for you to become that beautiful specimen that I could love. And I looked at you and I took you and I covered you. And you became my wife. You became my wife. I brought you and I said in my word, I love you so much. I give nations for you. I give nations for you. Wait a minute. Y'all waiting for the biggest diamond that a man can give you. A big rock. The Most High says, no, I give nations for you. Nations for you. I brought you out and I took a nation that was sitting on a piece of property that belonged to me. And I disposed them. And I gave you your inheritance. Not a diamond, not a ruby, not something that can perish, but I'm giving you something that's for you because I love you. I want you to get this. If I don't say anything else today, I want you to understand the depth and breadth of the love that the Most High has for you. He didn't have to bring me roses anymore. The very fact that I know that he is. And every day, as I shared with the young lady, he renews the essence of his spirit within me and gives me fresh pneuma. Watch this now. In spite of. I told my dear friend, and I love you so much, as I do all of you. But some of us are spoiled beyond measure. And rightfully you should be. If only Israel could understand, Moray, if only Israel could understand the depth and breadth of the love that the Most High has for us. Young lady said, well, about her husband, she said, well, that's his love language. Can I ask you a question? Israel, do you know the Most High's love language? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know the Most High's love language? Do you know the Most High's love language? Do you know what it is? She says, well, he cooks. You don't have to do nothing. He cooks. You don't have to. He cooks. He treats me like I'm the queen. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I get on these spells. I don't know. And when I think about it, he's only demonstrating how he feels inside about caring for the one that the Most High, out of the multitude of every female in the world, he chose me to be his. And he treats me like I'm his queen. Do you know the Most High's love language? Out of all of the nations that exist in the world, he chose Israel. And then he made sure that there was no comparison between you and the nations. He said, the rest of what I've created in nations is nothing to me but a drop in the bucket and a speck of dust. And they want to tell me that I so love the world. No, I know who I love. I know who I love. Wives, does your husband know who he loves? Husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends, do you all know who you love? There's a whole lot out there. But in the words of a song by Cynthia Erivo, I end this soliloquy by saying this: nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. So husbands, wives, when you look at each other, girlfriends, boyfriends, when you look at each other, you should say in your heart and your spirit, nothing compares to you. Because the Most High gave me to you and you to me. And every day is a day that I'm more in love with you today than I was yesterday. I say this to you young people because there's one thing I don't want you to do. I don't want you to ever feel the pain, the thought, or agony that you missed a day to express your love and devotion to each other. I don't wish that for you. You're hearing this from a person who knows. You're hearing this from a person who has experience. So, will that February the 14th be February the 14th? And will that 365 days of the year be the expression of our sentiments for each other and the depth of love that when you wake up in the morning, you turn over and you look at each other, the one thing that you should say, I love you. Wow. Let's go today to Genesis, Bereshit, Genesis chapter number 1. And you notice I don't have anything on the board today. Let's talk about and let there be light. Oh, let me take a deep breath. As I discuss Genesis, Bereshit, chapter number 1, some of the information I'm going to share with you today is going to come from an app that's called Bible Hub. Bible Hub is a Oxynozian resource we take information from their source because there is little to no written information on Scripture by the actual Hebrew people. The origin of the Oxynaz is mentioned in Bereshit chapter number 10, verse 2, associated with Japhet, and the European nations, Gog. History reveals that the origin of the Ashkenaz stems from a people that are called the Kahars, Khazars. If you do a research on the Kahars, you'll find that they were a nomadic Turkic people who established a commercial empire in the late 6th century CE. They were one of the most significant Turkic groups in European history. Originally from the northern Caucasus region. If you understand the aspect of the word Caucasus and where it comes from, we talk about the Khazars, we talk about the nomadics, we talk about them coming from a region that's very north of the equator. The Khazars were part of the Western Turkic Empire. In the 8th century, the Khazars adopted Judaism and referred to themselves as Jews. They are not people of color. Which is not to say that all people of color are Hebrew, because Japhet is the only son that left the origin of the place of creation, migrated into the north. Ham, Shem remained in the area of creation. They maintained their melon. However, we have to distinguish these three groups of people to define who the Father's people are. And if we understand the nature of how the Most High works with humanity, we know that the blessing and the birthright of things always inures to the firstborn. The firstborn son of Noah was Shem. The second son was Ham. The third son was Japhet. The two latter sons in the origin of things are problematic to Shem and Hebrew Israel. When the Most High says to us, "You shall not follow the ways of the nations to whom I am disposing you, and the land that I'm giving you," which was Canaan. Canaan is the grandson of Ham. As are the Perizzites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Canaanites, all the ites. All the ites belong to Ham, which is problematic to Shem. Oxenites or Japhet, the nations that are mentioned there, are nations that are today's are part of what we define as Europe, spoken about as Gog, Magog. So we're talking about a people who have been keepers of the things that are germane to Hebrew Israel. Let me make another point. There are people that are in our society who proclaim this Hebraicness and speak derogatorily of the Ashkenazis, for which they get accused of being anti-Semitic. And that's because those people have established an agenda. An agenda where they have placed themselves at the forefront in the mind of people that makes people believe they are the Father's people. Even to the point that the world or nations have legislated that you and I can't speak openly about the Ashkenazis or speak in a way that is anti-Semitic. I'd like to sit at the table with you, and I'd like to have a discussion with you, and I'd like to go through the fact of origin and creation, and let's see who is anti-Semitic. Shem. Shem is the oldest son of Noah. Through Shem having the birthright, everything that is germane to the people of the Most High flows through an individual who's not European, whose origin is not from the Khazars, whose origin is not Turkish, who did not adopt themselves to be who they're not. I'm just trying to set a foundation so you understand some things. So when I read their commentaries and their cultural historical narratives explaining the Mighty One's words to Moses, I take them with a grain of salt. Why? Because they're interpreting Scripture within the same context as I am. What makes them any greater in thought process of understanding the Most High's word than me? When in fact, the Father's word is spirit. Spirit. It's not cognitive knowledge, it's spirit. And it is the spirit that brings light and brings life to those things that are life, that came from life. I take them with a grain of salt, making their interpretation sometimes subjective, because I realize they do have an agenda. They are trying to pass themselves off as you, and they're not you. I feel for, no, I don't. Because in today's world, there is absolutely no reason for anybody to be stupid, particularly concerning the words of the Most High. The young men who are being ostracized and criticized for their remarks of showing forth anti-Semitic statements, if only they understood, you could tell people I can't be anti-Semitic against myself. And if only they knew that the people to whom they're talking about have even come out and said in their own words that you're the Father's people. They've said it. The question that we must ask as we study these things is, where are the writings of the Hebrew people? When we read the Mazor or the Masoretic text, we read our people's work as the Mighty One has given it. There's a problem. I want you to hear this. I'm going to say something that's problematic. David Stern, the scriptures, Bibles, all are all the works of men. And all of those men have an agenda. And guess what we're trying to do? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make our way through the minutia of agendas to arrive at truth. Because we have a motto, don't we, here? What's our motto here, y'all? Truth matters. Truth matters. In the volume of the information that we read, there is a vein of truth. If I was a gold miner and I dug into the earth, okay, I have to dig until I what? I have to dig until I what? Until I find in the dirt the vein that leads me to the essence of what I'm looking for. I wade through all of this. I wade through the Tanakh. I wade through all of the books that are available to me, and I pull out from them snippets that I can validate that's true. Can't tell you all the resources. Some of y'all can't handle the depth and breadth of all the resources because you get tangled up in going down the wrong path that you shouldn't be going down because you don't understand you're going down the wrong path. But in that path, as getting there, you'll hit a vein that provides you with truth. So when we read the Mazor and the Masoretic text, we read our people's works as the Mighty One has given it. The Ashkenazim have been the keepers of language, and from our scriptures interpret culture as they saw it. It is subject to interpretation. Now, but Charles is the oldest. No, yeah, Brother Charles, Sean, Lakeisha in this house are the oldest individuals who have been with First Tabernacle Fellowship since we have kind of been in existence, and particularly since we made the transition from Christianity to Hebrew. that transition that we made, we came down a whole lot of mud holes, didn't we? Following the ways of the Ashkenazis. Sister Beckham, it would have been historical for you to see, Brother Beckham, you all here, it would have been historical for you to see Brother Charles on Sabbath morning dancing in a circle like the Ashkenazis on Shabbat morning. That, if you'd have saw that, and they came and rehearsed it before service started too. He didn't get there late, he got there for rehearsal. To watch us go through that progression. I'm setting this up because I want to get you to understand something. We went through that progression. Moray Appleton, we went through the progression of learning how to read Hebrew from a teacher that was Ashkenazian, taught us how to read Hebrew using the vowel system. And we caught on, they caught on really good. I'm the slow one. They caught on really good. We had the Messianic bishops, Monty Judah, Rico Cortez, Bill Cloud, all of the big names in the Hebrew roots movement. That's where we started, Hebrew roots. I spent about between $10,000, $14,000 for a weekend Hebrew roots conference where we was the only fly in the buttermilk at our own conference. They came from Bend, Oregon, Washington. They came from the east, the north, and the west. I still have the banner, Hebrew Roots Conference. We brought Bill Cloud and all of those people in to be our teachers. I'm setting this up. I want you to understand the progression. We didn't know then that the Most High had defined for us that the nations should not be the ones who are teaching us. But we had to start somewhere. We know where to start. All we knew was this. We knew that we had to stop worshiping on Sunday and begin worshiping on the Shabbat. We knew that, and we knew that that was something that was connected to Hebraic thought. So we got in line and we followed them. I had Monty Judah at the congregation. I had Rico Cortez. I had Bill Cloud. I can't think of the other gentleman's name. I shouldn't remember it very well because he and I were very close friends. He passed away. We had all of them. They taught me. Why does a rocket going into space have to have a booster? Why? To get it off the ground. But once it reaches a certain point, guess what happens? They fall off. Rocket don't need them no more. We got to a place where the Most High told me, you don't need them anymore. And that's when the rocket ship of First Tabernacle Fellowship began to readjust its orbit. The readjusting of the orbit caused a rumbling and a shaking. And everything that wasn't connected to the ship didn't need, fell off. He said, when are you going to teach? I am teaching. So as I discuss Bereshit, Genesis 1, I'm considering all that and looking at their cultural, historical background, knowing their interpretation is also subject to scrutiny. I weigh very carefully what they have to say because they have an agenda to pass themselves off as the Father's people, true Israel, and they are not us. Now, let's go somewhere. Let this board represent to you something that existed in the beginning. Okay? What you see on this board is blackness. This board does not have the ability to do anything until and then there was light. So let's go to Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, I want you to listen to what the text is saying. In the beginning, the mighty one created the heavens, plural, and the earth, singular. The earth was uninformed and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of the Mighty One hovered over the surface of the water. Let's just stop there. Stop there. In the beginning, the Mighty One created the heavens. That defines for me that there is more than one heaven. It was toho. It was formless. Jeremiah 4:23 says, "And I looked at the land, it was unformed and void, and at the sky, it had no light." It was formless. It was void, vabohu, emptiness. Emptiness. waste, a condition of desolation, unformed matter. This is the state of things before the Mighty One's creative work, which will follow. Darkness. Darkness, koshek, defines misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness, are all associated with koshek and darkness, which is one of the reasons why the Most High doesn't have a whole lot to say about darkness. Because it reflects something that doesn't match with who he is. So it was unformed, void, darkness was up on the face. Panay, the presence of the deep. Tehom, the deep. And the Spirit of the Mighty One hovered over, now get this, it hovered over the surface of the water. The Spirit of the Most High hovered over the surface of the water. Then the Most High said, let there be or, light. But let's get back to something. His Spirit is hovering over the surface of the water. So, if we are looking at this from a perspective, we have Most High hovering over a surface of water. Then he said, hovering over the surface of water, he said, let there be or. Let there be an illumination. Now I want you to know something, that as I talk about this, going back to verse 1, all of the context in Bereshit chapter 1 is never going to tell you about what's going on above. He is not going to tell you in his creation about where he exists. He's not even going to tell you how it's created. Why? Because you don't have a need to know. Why don't you have a need to know? Because you're never coming here. And in the essence of space, where the Most High exists, there was always this illumination of or, of light. Because the Most High is light. In him there is no darkness, nor is there any turning or variance within him. The one stability that we have in life is knowing that the Most High is consistent. Now I'm going to give you two other words to think about as we talk about this. Not only is he consistent, but he functions within the realm of his own existence, logic. Everything he does is logical. Everything that he does fits within the sphere of science. He does not change his existence or his essence to meet man's thought process of what logic and what science is. He doesn't change that. Everything that he has created follows a path of logic, and it follows a path of science. So he's not going to tell you at all what's going on where he exists. Where he exists with the Malachim, the heavenly host, the angels. So he's hovering over the water. And El said, "Let there be light." Or, light, illumination. Illuminary meaning become light, to shine. Or is used to describe the natural light of day. Underscore the natural light of day, the light of the heavenly bodies, the light of life and prosperity. Metaphysical, it represents truth, guidance, and the presence of the Mighty One, which is the reason why he tells you over and over and over again that you are people of light and not darkness. You illuminate. Your presence brings into the presence of darkness light. When you show up, light shows up. When you open your mouth, illumination comes out. Knowledge begins to flow out of you, or the essence of understanding. He said, "Let there be light." And there was the ability to see the presence. Now watch this now. If I'm here, guess what I'll never see? Yes, not light, but I will never see the Most High. I can't see the Most High unless there's this that brings the illumination. And even as I see the illumination, I recognize that before there was the creation of anything called man, there was the Most High, an ore. And this ore, this light, functions logically, and it functions scientifically. The earth did not have the ability to visualize the Mighty One because it could not do so without illumination which brought forth clarity. Thus, the light of the beginning was for the illumination of understanding. It differs from other light, which is rooted in the Hebrew word also or. He saw that the illumination was good. And he divided. He saw it was good, and he divided the two and separated them so that you and I would be able to know the difference between that which is light and that which is shrouded and that which you can't see. And the mighty one called the light day, and the Hebrew word for day is yom, primarily means day, and it's used in various contexts throughout the scriptures. It can refer to a 24-hour period, the daylight hours, or a defined period of time. The context in which yom is often determines a specific meaning. For example, in Genesis 1, yom describes the 6 days of creation, which some interpret as a literal 24-hour days, while others see them as symbolic as a longer period of time. So as we talk about time, and we talk about the cycle of time, the Most High functions within a 24-hour time frame. Time. I'm talking about time. 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 Time is reflected within the day. The day reflects time. We can't move past time. And there is a difference between the Most High's 24-hour clock and the one that we function with. Every day within the Gregorian system, we arrive at time that marks, to them, it begins a new day. No. The Most High doesn't work that way. Time for the Most High is defined when light hits the horizon every day. And guess what? That time changes with the season. So it doesn't happen within the same period of time that you and I are accustomed to say, well, at 12 a.m., it's now another day. It's not. With the Most High, that circle of time is reflected when he designates. You follow me? You follow me? Follow me? So, he says there was evening, Arev. Primarily refers to time of day known as evening, marking the transition from daylight to darkness. It's often used in the context of the daily cycle, signifying the end of the day and the beginning of a new, according to Hebrew reckoning of time, which starts at sunset. However, when we talk about this, he says there was morning, evening, and there was morning and one day. So, if day begins with the sun, that's day. But time Time is within the day. Follow me? Sunset arises from the east, and it marks the beginning of a day. Time is within that day. So time runs and we have light. Light runs until Erev. Erev begins the cycle in which we begin to flow into darkness. And darkness exists until it reaches that point in which a new day begins. Have you ever noticed anything about the Most High? Ever noticed anything? Anybody? He works during a cycle of day. We've already defined that this piece up here is chaos, it's misery. Its meaning has something that's relative to that which is negative. Which is the reason why when you and I depart this life, we are in darkness. Nothing happens there. He said he worked and he created and he rested. Now, he's given to you and I this cycle of time, a day, and time within the circle of a day, because this day does not end until darkness comes around again and daylight once again happens. And he gives us all this time in here to do something that he does. Rest. The Most High doesn't work at night. Evildoers work at night. He's given you the array of time to say, I'm giving you a place and time within the day to get something done, and now I'm going to give you the rest of this time to rest, and we're going to begin it at sundown. But sundown does not mean that it's the beginning of a new day. It only means that it's the end of light within the day. Follow me? Verse 6. The mighty one said, let there be a dome. Now, I want to do something here. Stern uses the fact that he talks about this thing. Oh, come on. Get me back. Get me back. Get me back. He talks about this thing that's called a dome. Okay? But there are other translations that talk about there being an expanse. Interpretation. Is it an expanse or is it a dome? Now, I don't want to get I don't want to get too crazy with the dome, because then folks would think we have lost our mind, but we haven't, because we know by text that the earth sits on pillars. We know that because he tells us that in text. So he said, let there be a dome in the middle of the water. and let it divide the water from the water. There's water below, there's water above. We're going to divide the waters from the water. The mighty one made the dome and divided the water under the dome from the water above the dome, and that it was. And the Most High called the dome. Let's get rid of this. Where's my eraser? Eraser. Oh, there we go. The Most High called. You do this right. Come on, Robert. Come on. What up? Come on, bring me back, dear Lord, to the place. I'm lost, Sean. Come get me. Huh? Arise, son. Come get your moray. Come on. I know. I lost it. I need it back. Okay. Let's hit it again. It's bringing me this back. Give me my whiteboard. Give me my whiteboard back. Come on. Help a brother. You have to have, see, when you get to be an octogenarian 3 times over, you need young people to help you to maneuver this equipment. Anyway, let's get to the point. So there's a dome that is above and a dome that's below, and the Most High called the dome sky. So there was evening, there was morning, a second day. Elohim said, now watch this now, let the water under the sky. Thank you. I appreciate your help so much.
I didn't do anything.
You brought me back my white screen.
I haven't done it yet. Oh, there we go.
Beginning. There we go. Thank you. We're at water under the sky, the place, verse 9. Let the water under the sky be gathered together into one place. And what happened? Dry land appeared. So what that tells me is that in the beginning, the Spirit of the Most High hovered over a expanse that was not visible because it was covered with water. Now, if you go geographically, if we look at geography, even today we can see the signs in the earth where the waters, the rings in the earth define the layers of where water once existed. So under the waters existed this place that's called earth. I'll just say it, earth. Quit writing earth. Okay? Now we have two examples of this happening. It happens here in the beginning when the waters are divided, and up out of the waters come earth. The second time it happened was in the deluge, when the Most High covered what he created, the earth. He covered it all with water once again. And when we read the text, it talks about the water from beneath and the water from above. So that means that the water in the expanse above the dome opened up, water came down and watered the earth, and the water that was in the earth came up, and it once again covered the earth with water to where earth was not visible. Now, let's see what I'm going to do. Yes, I am. Let's go to one more verse. The mighty one said, verse 11, let the earth put forth grass, seed-producing plants, fruit trees, each yielding its own kind of seed-bearing fruit on earth. And that's how it was. The earth brought forth grass, plants, each yielding its own kind of seed, and trees, each producing its own kind of seed-bearing fruit. And Yahweh saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, and a third day. Now, I'm going to stop there with an explanation for you. Johan, you in the house? You grow plants? Huh? What are you dependent upon? Huh? What illumination are you most dependent upon? Huh? Oh. You said the sun. Now, I said earlier, you can't see the Creator in this sphere of chaos and darkness. In order to see him, he had to bring forth an illumination whereby you could be able to see him. And the way we see him is in his creative work. Johan? The Most High produced plants, fruit trees, each yielding its own kind of seed bearing fruit. He brought forth grass, plants, each yielding its own kind of seed, trees, each producing its own kind of seed bearing fruit. And he saw that it was good. And he did it all without the sun. Why is this important? I'm going to say the other part for next week. Why is this important? Because you and I have to understand the power of Or and the power of the illumination that the Most High has granted so that we will be able to see. Guess what you can't do? You cannot see him outside his creative work. As long as this existed, we were never going to see him. Come on. The angel saw him, but he had a greater purpose in his mind than the angels. He had purpose in his mind that I am going to create a king. And I'm going to give him dominion over my creative work. But in order for him to have the dominion, he has to be able to see. And he has to be able to acknowledge what he's seen. Watch this now. Watch this now. Watch this now. And he has to be acknowledged who is doing the work from the beginning. I'm going to close with this today. I said I wasn't going to do it. Said I wasn't going to do it. But I can't help but do it. It's impossible not to do it. When the Most High switched on that light, there was no alien power with him. When he divided the waters from the water, and the earth ascended out of the waters, there was no alien God with him. He did not need to have any help switching from this to this. He did it with the force of his own thought. Let me close with this today. I know I've said a whole lot. I hope it's been beneficial to you. When you think about the Mighty One fills all space and time. He's here, but you can't reach out and touch him. When you get in your car, but you can't reach out and touch him. In the essence of space and time, which the only place that you reside in that provides darkness, koshek, is your house. I'm going to say it again. The only space and time that contains darkness, koshek, is your house. Because this right here is always present since the Most High turned the switch on. When you go outside at night, take the moon away. Just take the moon away. There is still light. Without the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky, there is still light. Which tells me that the presence of the Most High still exists in the atmosphere of everything that encompasses me. I hope you feel my heart today. You can't see him unless he turns on the light. You can't know him unless he turns on the light. And I said I was through. Why is it that? Why is it that? Why is it that? If sun defines a day and Arev, the going down of the sun into a gray area, the majority of the Father's people reside in gray matter. All of this darkness, they reside in gray matter. You know why? Because they have not arrived at being able to understand the illumination of what light does. You are the children of light. Your understanding, the wisdom that you have, has come about by the aura of light, illumination. Not by some Oxynozian interpretation. It's happened by the light of your mind, the consciousness of your mind, the essence of your connection with the source of creation, of light, has illuminated your mind so that your understanding has become what it is. And so what I have to do, closing day, is I have to depend upon the source of light to give me understanding and wisdom. And do what the Most High said. Don't lean to your own understanding. Let's break down this next part. In all your ways, watch this, in all your ways, the interesting word in there is ways. In all your ways, acknowledge me. I'll direct your path. Give me a minute to break that up for you, because it don't mean what you think it means. In other words, when we talk about ways, we talk about the understanding of the application of life to the mitzvot that the Most High has given us. Ways. In all your ways, acknowledge me. I'll give you the understanding of what you're trying to understand. Don't lean to your own understanding. Let me direct that for you. Why do I need to direct that for you? Because I am the one who brought it. Do you think for 1 minute, come on, class, do you think for 1 minute Moshe was dependent on somebody to give him understanding of the Most High? Do you think maybe? No. Or do you maybe think that he took counsel? And he spent time. Let's get back to close what I opened with. Get back to the love language. Most High. If I can just bask in your presence, just a little bit, huh? When I wake up in the morning, if I can just bask in your presence a little bit, can you? Hey, honey. Can you talk to me? Just tell me that you love me, and just give me some words of comfort, and just let me know, Most High, I'm your wife. I have found him whom my heart will so love it. I love you so much. I just want to hear your voice early in the morning. Just want to hear you talk to me. I want to hear you explain to me things that I've been pondering in my mind. Open up my understanding so that I can see and impart truth to your people. Just, baby, honey, can you, would you please? Huh? Huh? You following me? Oh, I'm crazy that way. I'm sorry. Hey, I know who I love. So as we part today, I hope I've said something to those of you that are watching by stream and those of you that are in the house. I hope I've imparted something into your mind and thought process of understanding the magnitude of this awesome spirit that we call Yahweh. And let's lift up his name up from sun up to sundown. Don't let your day begin without the acknowledgement of who he is. And every time you have an opportunity to be in the presence of people who don't know, they're going to tell you about their God. And bold about it. Well, let me be bold about the Creator. Let me tell you who he is. Oh, no. There is no name given among men whereby we must be delivered other than the name of Yahweh. You already asked the question, can the Son be greater than the Father? You said no. So let me raise him in high esteem. And let me do one more thing. Let me have some swag as I walk through life with the one whom I love. Shalom. Rebecca. Oh, before I get there, those of you watching by stream, we'd be so appreciative if you would view the QR code on the screen that's before you and provide us with your token of appreciation if what you're receiving out of this house is benefiting your soul and your spirit. Your offerings are much appreciated. It takes, unfortunately, money to do what we do. And we're so appreciative of whatever it is that you contribute. I want to say there's a young man, I think it's in Alabama. Forget now, I got the card back there, but he watches us every week on stream. And not only does he watch us, but he also sends his offering. And I want to say to you, thank you so much for your gift of love, and thank you for watching us and following us, and we're so happy to be a benefit to you. Sister Gail, we're praying for you that the Most High will strengthen you and raise you up once again, that you can be in the place where you love amongst the congregation of the people. Sister Cheryl, I pray for you every night that the Most High will give you strength, ability to take care of your mother, and that he will provide you with relief so that you also can come to the house of the Most High where your heart desires to be. With that all being said, Rebecca, Yahweh, V'ishmereka, Ya'er Yahweh Panai Valeka, Lekanuka, Yasa Yahweh Panai Valeka, Vayasham, Laka, Shalom. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you favor. Let's stop there for a minute. Can I stop there for a minute? I'm not going to be long. I'm not going to stop long. Just a minute. Show you favor. Come on now. Vernice, there's some favor coming your way. Beacom, There's favor coming your way. Kiki, there's favor coming your way. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Johan, favor's coming your way. Don't let it pass you by. Don't take it as something that, well, shoot, I deserve that. No. His favor is different. And may Yahweh lift up his face toward you, and every day that you inhale and breathe, give you peace. Shalom.